Hola chicos, this is Miss Miller, and we wanted to give you some notes from the get-go as we start looking at la voz pasiva or passive voice. So the easiest way to understand what passive voice is to understand what it's not. So we're going to be looking at la voz activa, which is active voice or a normal quote unquote sentence, versus la voz pasiva. So, el propósito, the purpose. La voz pasiva es una manera de enfocarse en la acción en vez de enfocarse en el sujeto. In other words, we care what's being done or what happened versus who did the thing. So, here's a good example in English. Voz activa is an active voice sentence, a regular sentence where you have the person and then the verb and then the object. So, my parents took my phone away. Here, obviously, parents are the subject, the people doing the action. Took is your verb, and my phone is the object. My parents took my phone away. This is the kind of sentence we use all the time. Now, if I want to express the same idea, but I want to focus on what happened and not who did the action, I can use passive voice. So take a look at the second sentence, voz pasiva. My phone was taken away. So here, we're putting emphasis on the fact that the phone was taken. And if you wanted to say, my phone was taken away by my parents, you could add the subject and it would still make sense, but you don't need the subject in order to express the idea. You're saying the same thing, but you're putting the emphasis on a different part of the sentence. That's why we use voz pasiva. So, la fórmula, this is on your graphic organizer, and you hopefully took these notes before you started watching this video, but if not, you can pause the video here and take them now. Para escribir una frase completa en voz pasiva, hay que seguir la siguiente fórmula. So, puedes copiarla en el graphic organizer o en papel blanco. So, you've got all your different parts right here. You're going to start with your objeto, your object. In other words, you're not talking about who's doing the action, you're talking about who or what is affected by the action. Then you're going to use your forma de ser, which, as you know, means to be. So it could be is or was or will be. Then you're going to use your verbo in the participio form, which is your ado ido, but your ending will actually change, and we'll show you some examples of that later. And then at the end, if you want to say by the subject, by my parents, in the example we just saw, you can add that, but you'll notice the big brackets because that part is optional. If you're doing voz pasiva correctly, then the por part should be optional because that's not the point of the sentence. So, ejemplo número uno, you can take a look on your graphic organizer, or you can just copy it down on a blank piece of paper or in a notebook. Here's my frase original en voz activa, so the kind of sentence we use all the time. Los estudiantes completan la tarea cada noche. Students complete the homework every night. Okay? Now, we already know, same formula we've been using. To do the frase en voz pasiva, I have to take the same pieces, but I have to put them in a different order. And specifically, if you'll notice, here we're talking about la clase de matemáticas. So here, I'm just saying students complete their homework every night in math class, right? But if I want to change that to, let's move that. If I want to change that to passive voice, I want to focus on the action that's being done, and the person or people who's doing the action is less important. So I would flip my pieces around and start with the object. La tarea es completada cada noche por los estudiantes. Homework is completed each night by the students. Or, since the by part, who's doing the action, is optional, I can take that away altogether and my sentence should still make sense. So in math class, because that's what we're talking about, la tarea es completada cada noche. Homework is completed every night, or homework is completed each night. I'm talking about what's happening, and I'm not focused on who's doing the action. Let's take another look. Ejemplo número dos, el ladrón. El ladrón means the thief or the robber. So here's my frase original en voz activa, right? In my active voice, a regular sentence. El ladrón robó 3 iPhones ayer. So the thief stole 3 iPhones yesterday. Now, we're going to use the same exact formula, I'm going to care more about the object and what has happened to the object than I do about the subject who did the action. So, tres iPhones. I started with my object, the 3 iPhones. Then my forma de ser, okay, fueron, they were, robados, stolen, por el ladrón ayer. Okay, 3 iPhones were stolen by the thief yesterday. Now, I'm focused on the fact that the iPhones were stolen, not necessarily that it was the thief who stole them. So I can even get rid of that last part here in the brackets. This part is optional. And as soon as that little bar at the bottom goes away, you can see the shortened version. Tres iPhones fueron robados ayer. 3 iPhones were stolen yesterday. I hope those examples have helped you. We're going to watch another video in which you can see a few more examples, and then you're going to start trying on your own. Gracias.